so proud of you, Martha." Every time Dad said those words, I cringed. Have you ever felt like all you needed was approval from this one important person in your life, and for some freaking reason they just never gave it to you? Yeah, well, same. Hi, my name is Elsa. Martha is my twin, and all my life I've been competing with her for Dad's approval and failing miserably. The first time I remember hearing these awful words was when I was 3 years old. We were sitting at the dining table, and when Mom put our food in front of us, I grabbed a knife and fork and started cutting up my vegetables. I had to admit, I was a pro at it. Oh wow, where'd you learn to eat like that? Look at her. But Dad was too busy admiring Martha, who had her face in her bowl like a dumb little puppy with gravy dribbling down her face. "That's my big girl, eating all by herself. I'm so proud of you, Martha." Wait, what? You call that eating? I picked up my love of books from Dad, and by the time I was 4, I could read fluently. After finishing everything at home, I begged Mom to take me to the public library one day, and I was like a kid in a candy store. One night when Dad came to our room to read to us, I whipped out the 7th Harry Potter book from under the bed.
"Daddy, let's read this. I can't wait to see how it ends."
You've read all the Harry Potter books?
Yes, and they're so amazing. I love...
Just then, Martha took out a book from under her pillow and nearly hit me in the face with it.
"Daddy, please read this to me. I couldn't read all the words, and her book sounds stupid." "It's not stupid. Goldilocks and the Three Bears is stupid. What are you, 2 years old?" "No, I'm like 4, you idiot." "Then why do you want to read books for babies?" "Because we are babies." "I'm not, but you're a big crybaby."
That's enough, Elsa. Martha, honey, tell me where you got stuck. I'll read it to you. And I'm still very proud of you. It was always the same. We'd learn everything together, and she got all the praise even if I was 5 steps ahead of her. I didn't mind it too much at first. I'd read in a book that parents can be like that sometimes, showering the dumb kid with extra praise to encourage them. But then something happened that really made me lose my temper for the first time. Since my vocabulary was really good for a kid my age, Mom entered me in the local spelling bee for gifted youngsters when I was 7. I was the youngest participant, and I won first prize. I couldn't wait to go home and tell Dad.
"Look at my trophy, Dad, I won!"
Just then I saw Martha's pouty face with fat tears rolling down her cheeks.
"I want one too!"
Dad immediately snatched it from me and pushed some chocolate bars in my hand instead. "There you go, Martha. Daddy is very proud of his little girl." Hello? What for? And what about me? I just stared at him for a minute. Then I rushed off to my room, slammed the door as hard as I could, and threw the bars in the trash. 10 minutes later, I took them out and ate them while sulking on my bed. I just didn't get it. Why was it so hard for him to say that he was proud of me, too? Later that night, I snuck into the kitchen and sprinkled salt on his oatmeal. And I felt so happy the next morning when he took a big spoonful and spat it all out. Dad would sometimes take me and Martha to his office because he said we'd be running the company one day. Once when we were heading out, Martha said she wasn't feeling well and she stayed back. I felt really happy secretly. I'd get to have Dad all to myself. Dad had a board meeting and told me to sit quietly in a corner. His boss did not look happy with everyone. "Guys, our data is indicating that sales have gone down this past quarter. We need to come up with something new, something exciting." As everyone looked at each other blankly, I had a great idea, so I raised my hand. "What is it, kid?" I read in the New York Times that smartwatches for teenagers are going to be the next big tech gadget." Everybody looked at me in surprise, but then a big smile spread on his boss's face. "That's brilliant. We don't have anything for teenagers. Who's this genius kid?" Instead of looking proud, Dad just looked embarrassed. "I'm so sorry. I'll make sure to leave her home next time." I didn't understand why he was looking like he was mad at me when everyone else seemed to think I was a delight. "Are you insane? She's amazing. I would be so proud of her if she was mine." Dad just nodded and glared at me. The second we got home, he rushed straight to Martha's room with the gifts he had for her. "I missed you so much today. It really wasn't fun without you." I felt shattered at hearing those words. Just then, she got out of bed and showed Dad the painting she'd been working on. "Martha, that's so beautiful." It was a painting of SpongeBob and his starfish buddy. I thought it was really ugly, actually. "I'm so proud of you, Martha. I'm really glad you're better." Watching him hold her tight for so long made me want to cry. Mom and Dad thought I had tears of joy because my sister was feeling better, but they were just tears of anger. I wanted to rip her dumb painting into 2. As I grew older, I couldn't help thinking maybe Dad loved Martha more because she was the prettier twin. Everyone thought she looked like an angel with her blonde hair and blue eyes. All the boys in school would be asking me to introduce them to her. Geez, the girl could have her own TV show. Everybody loves Martha. It wasn't until the 8th grade that someone finally noticed me. It was our science teacher, Mr. Martin. He saw that I was always done with my work early, and he started giving me more advanced physics books to read. One day, when he asked me about what new thing I'd learned, I told him I just loved quantum physics. Mr. Martin took his glasses off as he looked at me in surprise. Are you saying you actually understand those concepts, Elsa? Yeah, I think so. Next thing I knew, Mr. Martin had taken me to the principal and asked if I could be allowed to take advanced level maths and physics tests. And it turned out I did really well in all of them. The next day, my parents were called in and the principal beamed at them. You must be so proud of your daughter. Yes, we are very proud of Martha. No, I'm here to talk to you about Elsa. She's quite the little genius. We want to bump her up a few grades. Dad looked confused. But what about Martha? Will she be bumped up too? Sir, Martha is an average student at best. She's fine where she is. Well then, Elsa can't move up either. Imagine how that will make Martha feel. She's a very sensitive child. Thank you for the offer, but Elsa will stay in 8th grade. I couldn't believe my ears. Was he for real? Later that night at the dinner table, I ate my food in silent rage. As usual, Dad was busy asking Martha how her day had been. It was great. Thanks to your help, I got a B in my history assignment. Oh, and I'm starting cheerleading practice tomorrow. That's wonderful, darling. I'm so proud of you. If I heard those words one more time, I was going to explode. I banged my glass down on the table. And what about me, Dad? Aren't you proud that I'll be finishing high school earlier than most of the other kids? Dad, what is she talking about? Dad clenched his jaw. We've had this discussion, Elsa. You're not moving up a few grades. No, actually, I never got the chance to speak. How could you do this to me, Dad? This is for your own good. You should thank me instead of being a total brat. Who do you think you are? How would you feel if your boss stopped you from being more successful? I would actually be so grateful to him because he knows what he's talking about just like me right now. You can't hold me back because of Martha. It's not my fault she's dumb. I don't know why you think you're smart. Trust me, you're just dumb. You only have confidence, not smartness. No, I'm smart. Martha is a dumb one. Do you hear me? I regretted the words as soon as they were out of my mouth. Martha looked hurt for a second. Then her face turned vicious. It would be much better for my popularity if my nerdy twin sister wasn't in the same class. No one even likes you. Why do you think they don't like me? Because you're a weirdo? Not true. It's because you kept telling them nasty things about me. You think I don't know? Do you care about how that makes me feel? What about you, Dad? Are you happy about this? Martha is just joking around. You don't have to make a big deal out of it. You're a monster. And so is Martha. Like daddy, like daughter. Mom pushed back her chair and stood up. Enough, all of you. I think it would be better for you two to be apart, so Elsa will be changing her grade, and no one is dumb or a weirdo. And then she turned to Dad angrily. I can't believe you. You're so selfish. Selfish? Why? Because I want the best for your kids? For my kids? Or just for Martha? You think I don't see? You stopped seeing a long time ago. But I can see your pity from a mile away. And with that, she left. I looked at Dad, but he just flung his napkin down on the table and walked away. I didn't care anymore. I wasn't going to wait around for him to say those words to me. I was bumped up to 9th grade and finished high school 2 years before Martha. We never had much in common, but in the past couple of years, we'd really grown apart. She wasn't doing well at school and was always more interested in going to parties and hanging out with boys. But Dad was as blind to her faults as ever. Look what's arrived in the mail, Mom! I just received my college acceptance letter to MIT on full scholarship. As Mom squealed in delight and hugged me, suddenly Dad walked in and snatched the letter out of my hands. You never told me you're applying to MIT. What will you study there? Quantum physics. That's what I've always loved, but you never asked. He crumpled up the letter into a ball. I own a tech company. How will you manage if you're too busy studying stupid theories in a research lab? I'm not interested in taking over your company, Dad. You should train the daughter you're really proud of to take over, and we both know that's not me. Well then, hear this. I'm not going to be paying a penny for your college. And with that, he stormed out of the room. That fall, I moved away to Boston and got a job at a coffee shop to pay for my expenses. I stopped talking to Dad and Martha altogether. Mom kept in touch with me and sometimes sent me money. In my last year at university, I was clearing the tables at the coffee shop one day when a regular customer, Leonard, walked up to me. He'd been coming every day for 6 months and I had the biggest crush on him. Hey, Elsa, I've probably spent hundreds of dollars on coffee just to see you every day, so how about I cut to the chase? I think you're beautiful and smart and I'd like to ask you out. Wait, he thought I was beautiful? Growing up under Martha's shadow, I'd never really seen seen myself that way. We dated for 2 years, and then we got married. Only Mom attended the wedding from my side. I found out from her that Martha had dropped out of college and run away with some loser boyfriend who had promised to make her a big model one day. Your dad's really heartbroken and has just thrown himself into his work even more. A year later, I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, Anna. Leonard was so supportive of my career and always told me how proud he was of my achievements. And it was the happiest I'd ever been, until the day I got a phone call from Mom. Honey, you have to come home. Your dad's had a stroke. I flew back home immediately. Seeing Dad looking so weak and sick made my heart hurt. I sat by his side and took his hand. I'm here now, and everything's going to be okay. Dad was no longer fit enough to work, and I knew what I had to do. I left my dream job and moved back home with my family, and Leonard and I took over the company's operations. One day, I was looking all over for Anna when I found her on Dad's bed, reading out loud to him. I saw that he had tears in his eyes. She's just a little genius like you. Do you remember how smart you were? Do you remember that, Dad? He took my hand and drew me close. I'm sorry that I wasn't a good dad to you. I just always felt Martha needed my love and attention more. I shouldn't have treated you the way I did. I thought I didn't care by now, but my heart soared with joy as he said the words I'd been longing to hear my whole life. I'm so proud of you, Elsa.